All right, well done, everyone. I know that was a long reading. Like I said earlier, it is our first scrutiny today before Easter, and the first scrutiny is all about sin as damage, which frankly makes it the most straightforward of the three scrutinies. And for the scrutiny, our gospel reading was the Samaritan woman at the well. And she is one of the classic sinful figures in the gospel, along with Zacchaeus the tax collector and a couple of others. Now, her sin is a very black and white matter. She is in a relationship with a man who is not her husband. So clearly this woman is pure evil, and her blood is as black as tar. That was sarcasm. Now, thinking about it, getting ready for this weekend, it occurred to me that I think those of us here today, we are actually better equipped to understand and enter into this gospel reading than previous generations of Christians living in a more Christian society. Because I can just imagine people hearing that reading in church in the 1950s and just be floored at the idea of a woman being in a relationship of that nature. And for us here today, that is so ordinary that a lot of people have completely forgotten that that is not what God desires for us in life. So really, that makes us, modern-day Americans, pretty similar to those ancient Samaritans who were not technically Jewish, who thought like the woman at the well. And in my head, I can just picture her rationalizing her life as if she lives right down the street. Look, Mr. Jesus, I'm just trying to live my life. Okay, so what if I've had a bunch of guys in my life and this last one hasn't bothered to marry me? I have to work so hard just to get by in life. I have way bigger problems to worry about than that. If you have never defended your life with those words, I'm willing to bet you know somebody who has. I'm a priest. I hear that every other week. And that's what sin does to us. It damages us. It beats us down to its level, and then it keeps us there. It keeps us in such a way that we lose our desire to better ourselves, to make ourselves more holy, more in control of ourselves. And when you fall into that mode of life, then really the only thing you can hope for is to make it through another day. And when you think about it, that is exactly what life is like when you're damaged. When you have suffered a grievous injury, all you can really do is recover in your hospital bed and hope to heal. That is what sin does to us. It keeps us down. Now, I hope that none of you feel that way about your life right now. But if you do, keep listening, keep paying attention to this gospel reading, because that Samaritan woman at the well, she felt and thought all of those things in all likelihood. Her life has gradually led her to that point in life. It's very reasonable to assume that she had a very difficult life. You got to factor that stuff in. But here's the thing about sin. Sin is damage, and it makes difficult things even harder. It chips away at our life little by little over time when we are not willing to see it and respond to it. And that's largely what the problem is with the Samaritan woman. She wasn't dealing with the sin of her life, and so she got to this, point. And then along comes Jesus. And Jesus meets the Samaritan woman just like he meets any other sinful person, with love and acceptance. He is on her side. He wants what's best for her. He absolutely sees the good within her. He doesn't talk down to her or attack her with a judgmental, holier-than-thou attitude. That is not how that story goes. But on the other hand, Jesus offers her an invitation to make a change. Because we are not meant to remain in our sin any more than we are meant to just get used to having a broken arm. Zacchaeus the tax collector's sin was greed and exploitation. The Samaritan woman at the well, inappropriate relationships. Us here today, could be one of those things, could be the other one. Alcohol abuse, putting our politics before our faith, or maybe just not making enough time for God. But whatever sin happens to be damaging you the most right now, you are not meant to accept it as it's just a part of who you are. No, you're supposed to kick it to the side and proceed on your spiritual journey refreshed and healthy. That's the idea. So on this first scrutiny, remember that sin as damage does not belong within you. And that's a lifelong struggle, obviously, for all of us. But it matters. We are called to strive constantly to be holier and better than we are today. That is the goal. And that is the choice that Christ offered the Samaritan woman at the well. And it's the same choice he offers us here today. It is the choice to turn away from sin and be better off for it.